So, I've seen a clip making the rounds on Twitter of Destiny arguing with Anna Kasparian on Piers Morgan's abysmally stupid garbage show. Let's take a look at the clip in question.
I don't understand you, Destiny. You have so much hatred in your heart, and at the same time,
it's such a simple thing. If you're going to
hateful.
weaponize somebody's grief against the other party, well, then of course people have a right to fight back against it. I think that she has every right to grieve in whatever way she wants, but when that grief is going to be weaponized to do recruitment, political recruitment, and further radicalization of the other side, then of course you not only have the ability to mock it, I think you have the obligation to mock it. It's insane.
Let me understand your argument. So since others are using her grief to politically recruit, you think that it's okay to mock her specifically?
Since others are using her grief, she's the one who gave a 17-minute speech on TV where she taled about good versus evil. She's the one showing up in
Destiny,
TPUSA ads to 1 or 2 days after.
If someone assassinated my husband, I would not be able to have the level of composure she had during that speech. I would be out for blood. I understand why she's angry and why she said the things that she said. Okay, you need to understand what being a human is, what it's like to actually lose someone that you love, that you chose to spend your life with, that you chose to raise children with, a person who was violently and viciously assassinated like that. This is why I've moved away
and when
from
something
identifying as
you got bullied online. It's so funny. It's so funny that you just said that you don't think about how other people act to define your behavior. Your entire political ideology now is somehow defined by the people that were mean to you on Twitter.
No,
if somebody cares about somebody who's grieving,
I understood
then you tell that
what
person,
the flaws on the left happen to be. The weakness in their arguments. No, it's not about the way I get treated. I get treated like crap from both sides of the political aisle.
You do mass recruitment for our political party while everyone over here is calling for civil war. It's unhinged. When you've got people like Matt Walsh of the Daily Wire, the president of the United States calling for civil war.
We're talking to a guy who said he'd be okay with his own parents getting killed if they went to that Trump rally where that assassination attempt happened.
And we're talking to a woman who went on and did the whole conservative media outlet with Tucker Carlson and Glenn Beck.
I'll be honest with you, I tried to track down the entire episode, but it's literally just 5 people screaming over one another the entire time. It's impossible to get anything out of it. It's not a discussion. It's not even an argument. It's 5 chimps screaming. You'd get more meaningful discourse throwing a handful of pennies into a meat grinder. The reason Pierce released this clip to promote the episode is because it's basically the only part of the episode that's even remotely possible to listen to. And even in saying that, I feel I'm being far too generous. My opinion on these two: Anna Casparian is a grifter fraud whose loyalties lie on the open wind. Destiny is a sociopathic debate lord dipshit who thinks that winning stupid internet arguments is the meaning of life. So, did he win this one? Optically, he did not. But substantively, well, let's delve deeper. Let's take a look at the clip they're arguing about, where Charlie Kirk's widow speaks her message unto the peoples of the earth.
The evildoers responsible for my husband's assassination have no idea what they have done. They killed Charlie because he preached a message of patriotism, faith, and of God's merciful love. But they should all know this. If you thought that my husband's mission was powerful before, you have no idea. You have no idea what you just have unleashed across this entire country. In this world, you have no idea.
Well, I don't know how you guys feel, but I'm getting pretty tired of being told by the entire American right that I am complicit in Charlie Kirk's murder just because I think Americans should have health care, gay people shouldn't be stoned to death, empathy is a good thing, and the Civil Rights Act was not a mistake. I've spent the last 3 days watching right-wingers use this murder as a pretext to incite civil war, strip us of civil liberties, engage in free speech, chilling, doxing campaigns, and hold everyone to the left of Mussolini as being complicit in the death of Charlie Kirk. Right-wing political violence is far more common than left-wing political violence, if indeed the shooter was left-wing, which I'm still on the fence about in light of current evidence. Though I will admit that the possibility seems more likely in light of some recent revelations. Though I'm also not yet convinced the shooter isn't a patsy. Now, I'm not a conspiracy-minded person. If you ask me who did 9/11, I would say the most likely culprit is Al-Qaeda. If you ask me who assassinated John F. Kennedy, I think the most likely answer is Lee Harvey Oswald. But in this case, I remain unconvinced of the official narrative. But I will wait for more evidence to come in before I rush to any rash judgments. Overall, politics is a pretty rare motive for murder. Political murders, especially against notable figures, are, of course, headline-grabbing and interesting to the bloodthirsty American people, but they're also extremely uncommon. The vast majority of murders have more banal motives: jealous lovers, family drama, money disputes, gang battles, and so on. In other words, I don't like Anna enabling Kirk's widow to use grief as a shield for her shitty rhetoric. Just because it's coming from the mouth of a woman who just lost her husband doesn't make it less concerning. If anything, it makes it more concerning, exactly because it's so relatable. It's like something from a movie trailer. In a world of political turmoil, they killed her husband, and now she's out for revenge. It's very cinematic. It's very visceral. But there's just one problem. The people she's blaming for killing her husband had fuck all to do with it. Celebrating Charlie Kirk's death doesn't make you complicit in his murder. Saying he wasn't a good person does not make you complicit in his murder. Taking certain political stances definitely does not make you complicit in his murder. The only person responsible is the killer and his accomplices, if he had any. This idea that the left as a collective is responsible is 100% bullshit. Why? Because some people on the left called him a Nazi and a fascist. So what? People on the right call us commies all the time. Hell, they call us Nazis and fascists sometimes, for that matter. Who gives a shit? This is the way we play politics in America. Has been for quite some time. I am not making some dumbass plea to turn down the temperature in the country. I don't care. I like this temperature. I'm the dog in the burning room that says this is fine. Not because I'm not aware of the fire, but I'm just kind of zen about that shit. But what's not fine with me is when one side starts acting like they don't take no responsibility for the fire no more. It's all the other side's fault. And they start saying Riri shit. Like, this is not a battle of left versus right. It's a battle of good versus evil. This ain't Star Wars, you fucking morons. This ain't a Marvel movie. This is real life, and politics is messier than a ghetto gas station's shit-encrusted bathroom, baby. But we on the left do need to be aware of the position we're in right now. The normies, as in those who are normally politically aloof, are buying the right-wing narrative hook, line, and sinker. And it's for the same usual reasons. Their narrative has less steps. It's easier for the average American dumb fuck schlep to understand. Doesn't require them to think critically, to weigh evidence, to entertain ambiguity. It's just a straight shot of emotional junk food. They killed our guy. The bad guys did it. Now it's us versus them. Boom. Instant clarity. And all we've got in response is sputtering about how, oh, Charlie Kirk wasn't a nice person, you guys. He said a lot of really mean things. You know, the average American sees that as, wow, they're disparaging the dead. Which it is, to be fair. But notice how they never care when a Republican disparages dead kids in Gaza or starving people in Yemen, or when this administration blows up a boat of Venezuelans and claims without evidence that they were drug smugglers. And by the way, even if they were drug smugglers, that shit is still heinous beyond belief. Because the average American doesn't give a fuck about anyone other than themselves. And they see enough of Charlie Kirk in themselves to actually care. He's enough like them that it doesn't seem abstract. So if you talk shit about the guy, a lot of people are going to cry foul. Even though they dance on the graves of murder victims here and abroad every day. They used to somewhat care about school children getting shot, but they're numb to that at this point. That's old news, because the American public also loves it some novelty. And school shootings, they're just not novel enough anymore to entertain these dumb fucks. Plus, let's remember something else about the American people. As much as they love blood, and as much as they love novelty, they are also, contradictorily enough, addicted to stability. When political violence like this happens, they feel stability slipping away. They start worrying they won't be able to get their fucking Big Macs anymore. But you know what? That is ultimately the thing that I think is going to save us here on the left. I think that's ultimately the reason we don't have much to sweat in this equation. Because the more emboldened the right gets, the more you start hearing these fucking psychopaths calling for civil war, killing all the leftists, and all the normies who like stability are going to be like, well, you talk me into it, then you talk me out of it. Because you know what? They definitely ain't going to be able to get no Big Mac or no insulin if there's a civil war going on. You see, the right has never really been able to walk this particular tightrope. They always get a little too excited, go mask off a little too quick, and fumble the fucking ball. And while I have no doubt that Charlie Kirk will be a heroic figure on the right for quite some time, the average American is not going to give two shits and a fuck about him in about, we'll say, 2 to 6 weeks. 8 tops. Depending on when the next big story drops, you know? Trump fucked a pig. Colin Farrell fell off the Empire State Building. Kanye West commits suicide. Beyonce rips Will Smith's nuts off. You know, whatever it is. The attention span of the populace of this country is shorter than my fucking dick, and that's pretty goddamn short. Well, that's all for now. Let me know in the comments below what you think.